Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Niconsat. The federal government has been commended for reversing the 5-year ban on mineral exploration activities in Zamfara State. Stakeholders in the mining sector made the commendation in a separate interviews in Abuja. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, had recently announced the reversal of the ban on mining exploration in Zamfara, citing significant improvement of security situation in the state after the federal government had banned all forms of mining exploration activities in 2019, following alarming reports of banditry and its link to illegal mining. The National President Miners Association of Nigeria, Dele Ayakele, thanked the minister for the move, explaining that the ban deprived the government of accruable revenues, stressing that the effectiveness of the move will be determined by the measures put in place to sustain the security recorded in the state. Disengaged police officers from courses 33, 34, and 35 of the Nigerian Police Academy have appealed to President Bola Tinubu to direct the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, to comply with a National Industrial Court judgment ordering their reinstatement. The officers who claim they were unlawfully retired despite not reaching the statutory 35 years of service or the 60-year age limit had challenged their disengagement at the National Industrial Court in Abuja. In April 2022, the court ruled in their favor, directing the IGP, the Police Service Commission, and the Secretary of the Police Force to reinstate them. However, the officers allege that the judgment remains unenforced. Their lawyer, Olatoye Ademola, in a letter to President Tinubu, expressed frustration over the police authorities' alleged failure to comply with the court's directive, despite earlier signals suggesting progress. The Inter-Party Advisory Council has called on Nigerians to unite to deepen democracy and build a better nation for present and future generations. National Chairman of the Council, Yusuf Danteli, in a statement highlighted the resilience of Nigerians and the urgent need to address key national issues in 2025. The Council also announced plans to intensify its roundtable discussions, bringing together stakeholders and experts to address critical national issues and propose solutions to deepen democracy, pledging to continue leading efforts to ensuring good governance, hold leaders accountable, and promote sustainable development. IPAC reiterated its call for the scrapping of state independent electoral commissions, which have undermined credible local government elections, just as it urged the empowerment of the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct all elections across the country. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has employed government at all levels to prioritize the welfare and well-being of the citizens in 2025. This came as it insisted that the federal government should withdraw its present tax bill before the National Assembly for all key national stakeholders to be part of the process. In its New Year message to Nigerians, especially workers, President of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, said organized labor would step up its battle for an upward wage review for workers due to mitigate the high cost of living. He also encouraged workers and Nigerians to find the strength to build a collective resolve to drive Nigeria out of the morass of underdevelopment that has held it captive for far too long. And moving to the health sector, doctors in Ondo State under the Association of Resident Doctors, University of Medical Science Teaching Hospital Ondo chapter have begun an indefinite strike over alleged poor working conditions and welfare packages. The resident doctors had staged a protest against the management of the state-owned teaching hospital, accusing it of ignoring their demands. The doctors highlighted several issues fueling their industrial action, including illegal salary deductions, exorbitant taxes, and the non-payment of hazard allowance. Speaking to journalists in Akure, the state capital, the president of Ondo State Chapter, Dr. Olaogbe Kayinde, lamented the increasing workload on doctors due to mass resignations triggered by poor welfare. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has embarked on a strategic engagement in Doha, Qatar, in a bid to boost the operational efficiency and technological capabilities of the Nigerian Air Force. The visit underscores the Air Force's commitment to leveraging global partnership to address national security imperatives and strengthen its air power capabilities. This was according to a statement by the Nigerian Air Force headquarters. The statement says, in furtherance of his command philosophy to transform the Nigerian Air Force into an agile and resilient force which effectively fulfills the air power imperatives of national security, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, was recently in Doha, Qatar, to engage with Bazan Holdings, a leading Qatari defense company. The FCT Police Command has arrested a 33-year-old man, Obinna Nwigwe, for allegedly shooting his friend Andrew Philemon during a heated argument in Buari. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer SP Josephine Ade confirmed the incident in a statement describing it as a disturbing case of violent crime. According to a statement, the incident occurred on the 26th of December 2024 when the police officers responded to a distress call about gunfire, and upon arriving at the scene, they found 29-year-old Philemon critically injured from a gunshot wound. Nwigwe, armed with a pump-action rifle, claimed the shooting was in self-defense after the argument escalated, but the search by the police uncovered a cake of weapons, including 5 Dane guns, 1 English-made single-barrel gun, an AK-47 magazine containing 29 rounds of 7.62 live ammunition, 4 live cartridges, 17 spent cartridges, a bow with arrows, various knives and sword stick, a toy gun, a teaser, and bulletproof jacket, and multiple sets of police uniforms and boots. Ade added that Philemon is currently receiving treatment at the National Hospital in Abuja, while Nwigwe remains in custody pending the conclusion of investigations, as it reiterated its commitment to tackling violent crime and ensuring the safety of residents. The Military High Command says wanted and notorious terrorist Commander Bello Toji, who recently threatened to attack some communities in Zamfara State unless his brother and others arrested by troops are released, is a dead man walking. This is just as the military disclosed that those disputing the military's precision bombing of the Lakurua terrorist enclaves, killing their members and collaborators, are engaging in terrorist propaganda. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who made this known, said between January and December of 2024, over 1,000 terrorist leaders and commanders, as well as their replacements, have been eliminated in military operations. The federal government has expressed readiness to engage in dialogue with Niger following recent statement by the country's National Council President Abdurrahman Tiani. This is contained in a statement by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Togar. He said Nigeria opted for dialogue as the foundation for sustainable solutions and will not take any actions that undermine Niger's sovereignty, security and territorial integrity per ECOWAS principles. The minister reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to peace and stability in West Africa, noting that Nigeria and Niger, as neighboring countries and brothers, share deep historical, cultural and economic ties. As still in the news, the Nigerian Customs Service has seized the 12 containers laden with illicit drugs with duty paid value of 20.3 billion naira at the Onne port in Rivers State. The Customs Area 2 Controller, Mohammed Baban Dede, stated this while briefing newsmen at Onne. Baban Dede stated that 3,461 pieces of sanitary ware fittings, 840 pieces of chili cutter and 153 cartons of TVS rubber were used to conceal the illicit drugs in the 12 containers, adding that the command generated a total revenue of 634 billion naira as at December 31st, 2024, which is higher than 618 billion revenue target given to it for the year. And moving to Imo State, Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has signed the 2025 appropriation bill into law, marking a significant milestone in the state's fiscal journey into the coming year. The bill, which was initially presented in December 2024 with an allocation of 755.6 billion naira, was reversed and approved at 807 billion naira by the Imo State House of Assembly during a special sitting. This adjustment, according to the House, reflects the state's development priorities. Global Television correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports from the Government House, Owerri.
The presentation of the revised 2025 appropriation bill by the Speaker of Imo State House of Assembly, Chike Olemgbe, along with other lawmakers, set the stage for Governor Hope Uzodinma to formally sign it into law. The bill's increment to 800 billion, as explained by the House Committee on Budget and Appropriation, aims to address the critical development needs of Imo State. The Speaker of the House, Chike Olemgbe, reaffirmed the Assembly's support for the governor, emphasizing the need for collaboration to drive economic growth.
On this premise, the House amended the total capital expenditure to now reach 694 billion 786 million 41,220 naira, bringing the total budget to 807 billion 888 million 41,220 naira.
With the 2025 appropriation bill now signed into law, attention shifts to its implementation. Early rollout of projects and programs is expected to ensure the state meets its development targets for the year.
So with a total budget of 807 billion for the year 2025, it means that the opportunity for growth, the opportunity for prosperity, and the opportunity to create and bring into reality the new Imo State is by the corner.
From the Imo State Government House, Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Report from the United Nations, as estimated by World Dometer, has predicted the population of Nigeria to reach 237,527,782 by the year 2025, an increase of 235,072,214 from the population recorded in December 2024. The data also disclosed an increase of 4,796,533 population in the country between 2023 and 2024. According to the report, Nigeria ranks 6th in the list of countries and dependencies with population equivalent to 2.85% of the total world population. Similarly, the U.S. Census Bureau estimates also averred that the world population increased by more than 71 million people in 2024, which is a slight slowdown from the 75 million increases recorded in 2023. The ACF has described the Christmas Day military airstrike that occurred in 2 communities within the Silame local government area of Sokoto State as an incident one far too many. Following the incident, the ACF urged the military to re-evaluate its strategies and tactics in addressing the insecurity plaguing both the north and the entire country. In a statement issued in Kaduna by its National Publicity Secretary, Tuku Muhammad Baba, the ACF expressed its concerns over the attempt by the military to deny the killing of civilians by the defense spokesman in the aftermath of the incident. Hence, the forum is insisting that compensation be paid for those who suffered death and injuries in line with Islamic legal principles and injunctions in the communities. Also, rights organization Amnesty International has accused the military of trying to cover up the killing of citizens in Sokoto communities. Recall that the military had on December 25th carried out operations targeting the Lakurawa terrorists in Gidan Sama and Rumtuwa communities in the Silame local government area of Sokoto State, which led to the death of no fewer than 10 citizens. The defense headquarters had said the citizens were killed by a secondary explosion from the logistic base of the Lakurawa terrorist group. But speaking in an interview on the Sokoto incident, the International Issa Sanusi asked the military to submit details and records relating to the airstrike to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation for an independent investigation. In another development, Indonesian ambassador to Nigeria and the Economic Community of West African States, stated Usra Harabhab, has said that both countries share similar defense and security experiences and interests, even as they are working closely to deepen collaborations against terrorism. The ambassador, who is a retired air vice marshal in the Indonesian military, said this in an interview in Abuja, noting that within 6 years of his duty tour in Nigeria and ECOWAS, he had deployed his military experiences to bear on ensuring that Indonesia's diplomatic military engagement were rooted in the sub-region. You're watching live broadcast of News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, where News Cycle returns. Pre-flight checks found no issues before South Korea air crash. We shall bring you details of that story as well as business and sports news right after this break. Please stay with us. Break in business. Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, says efforts to engage state governors in consultations over the tax reform bills were met with consistent and non-commitment. According to Oyedele, the committee reached out to the governors on 4 separate occasions, only to encounter a lack of cooperation. Oyedele emphasized that the level of engagement undertaken was unprecedented in its scope and inclusivity. Despite these hurdles, the committee managed to meet with some governors and their teams. The governor of Lagos State allowed a state visit to engage with his cabinet and revenue authority. In Kaduna State, the deputy governor led the team in the absence of the governor. However, Oyedele noted that many other governors could not find time for such engagement. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has updated its performance monitoring framework for electricity distribution companies, DISCOs. NEC, in a statement, said the updated framework will go into effect in the first quarter of 2025 and is described in Addendum 1 to the order on the performance monitoring framework. NEC said the order will ensure a compliance with the key performance indicators, KPIs, which include accountability by the DISCO's management, increased operational performance, improved energy delivery to customers, and customer satisfaction. The Commission, however, noted that it shall issue ratification directives for all compliance issues for the 3 affected KPIs for the 3rd and 4th quarter of 2024, and that the updated enforcement framework contained in Addendum 1 shall be applied from the 1st quarter of 2025. Oil marketers and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority have said that the prices of refined petroleum products are to drop further following the commencement of operations at the Warri Refining and Petrochemicals Company Limited. Downstream oil sector said competition in the space would now be stiffer as domestic refiners reduce prices to get buyers. The oil marketers stated this following the announcement by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, that the 125,000 barrels per day Warri refinery had commenced operations. The NNPCL also announced plans to begin the export of locally refined products to foreign countries in exchange for foreign currency. And still in the news, the Nigerian Navy has said it is committed towards ensuring that the nation's daily crude oil production increases from 1.8 million barrels to 3 million barrels by December 2025, in line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony of the Operation Delta Sanity in Port Harcourt, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, said the directive of the President must be achieved. He added that since the launch of Operation Delta Sanity, it has curbed crude oil theft, illegal bunkering, and pipeline vandalism, stressing that the nation's daily crude oil production has increased from 1.4 million barrels to 1.8 million barrels per day. And that's how we call it a wrap on the news at 6. I am Anthony Momodio. Good evening.